Eat your heart out, Noah. It's like two little kids. Love it. There we go. See, it's already starting. You had him in that container.
Oh, my really nice truck.
Oh god. The Ford. It's not so nice. He thinks it is, but Trent loved riding in it.
The chrome blended in so well on my shiny hood.
Did you let Trent know how awesome your truck was?
I didn't have to let him know. He got to feel it on the way to the restaurant.
All right, guys, welcome to our version of the true shoulder blade test. You guys have seen elk shoulder blades get hit in films a lot. A lot of times it doesn't penetrate at all. We're gonna take a bunch of different arrows. We actually procured, is that even a word? Procured.
Sounds cool.
Held on to 3 of our elk shoulder blades. I put them in the freezer. So as you can see behind me, we got meat still on them. We've got, and I encased them in ballistics, Jill, because I'm a half scientist, half
Following directions makes you a scientist now.
It does.
Reading the label.
Anyways, but yeah, so we're gonna do the reel of real tests. We are gonna shoot shoulder blades with a few different broadheads. What do we got, Noah?
Well, there's a ton of debate right now, like Trent was saying, like between what heads do best on shoulder blades, if you can blow through one, or if you can't. I think depending on where you even hit in the shoulder blade.
Yes.
But we're gonna try to put all that to rest today. We have 8 different heads. We have 2 different single bevels. We have iron will, and then a grizzly stick. 2 different 3 blades, the Q80 Exodus, and then the VPA 3 blade, and these are all 125 grains, so everything's the same control arrows. And then we have 3 different mechanicals.
Yep.
We have the Sever 1.5 titanium.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper 4 blade,
Yeah.
Carnivore, and then we have the Schwacker 2 blade.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to see what gets the best penetration, what also kind of leaves the biggest hole, and then also once we pull it out of the target, what's still intact. It looks like you could, I mean, it's still even doing damage once it gets through the shoulder blade. So we're gonna start, I guess, let's start with the 3 blades.
But one thing I also want to say is, like, we're gonna try to avoid the scapula of the shoulder as much as possible and get into the bone of the shoulder, because a lot of people say try.
I'm gonna get back 90 yards, so it
Trent's gonna do his best.
Gives me a little challenge, you know.
But a lot of people think blowing through the shoulder blade through the scapula, that is a thin part of the bone.
Yeah.
It's not the actual bone of the shoulder.
Most arrows can get half penetration through that blade, but we're gonna hit that hard part.
Trent's gonna do his best to get that little thin
best
strip
being
right
the key word, best. We all know you guys have, everybody shoots a different broadhead. That's one of the
100%.
biggest questions that we get is, what broadhead should I shoot? All of them are good. Just, you need to find one that flies good with your arrows. We're just testing these today. Comment below what other broadheads you'd like us to test. And so we're gonna try to do this again after this next season, if Noah can ever kill anything, and we save another shoulder blade.
I think those are all my shoulder blades, and they're intact because I didn't hit them. You're welcome.
You can't count your kids as tags, but you can't count your kids as cow rifle tag, okay? Anyways.
I think it was his kid with the cow rifle thing.
Darn right. All right, so everybody has their own broadhead that they shoot, and we're just gonna test these today, and comment below, let us know what you guys think.
Okay, to start off, we're gonna start with the fixed 3 blades. So we have the Q80 Exodus and then that VPA. What do you guys think is gonna penetrate better?
I'm thinking, man, I've shot the Exodus forever too. I don't know, but this thing looks wicked.
Looks gnarly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Exodus because I've shot for fixed blade. That's always been my
This is one piece, no replaceable blades. I'm going with the VPA.
My curiosity is going to be really with the expandables and stuff like that, and then, you know, like the Severs and stuff. That's going to be, but I think these, I don't know, man. In a setting like this, I think they're going to go through it. I think they will.
I'm excited to see. It's gonna be awesome.
Let's shoot them.
Oh, that was right in the bone.
Nailed it.
That did exactly.
Yeah, it didn't deflect.
No,
that's kind of surprised me too. That is surprising.
Okay, how much penetration?
Dude, way more than I thought.
One lung.
That
for
could
sure.
almost still poke something.
Oh, that would have got one lung for sure.
Way more than I thought.
That's like through. That's like in.
I mean, I think that pokes along.
Oh, 100%.
Doesn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I would think so. It's in the cavity.
It's in the cavity.
And this is stacks of cardboard slowing behind it.
Yeah.
Like this is
it would have went further.
This is way tighter than your inner chest cavity. Anything.
Yeah. That kind of surprises me actually.
Wow. Yeah. Exodus.
Oh boy.
Nice shot though.
Which is weird.
He actually hit the bone.
But it's weird because Trent's shot a couple bowls with Exodus right there, and they didn't do that.
No, but it entered.
Didn't your Wyoming bow you shoot with an Exodus like right there?
I don't know. I've had so many I can't remember them.
You were supposed to go.
You think go above that?
I want, if you can hit below that,
I'd hit.
where the bone,
right
the thicker of the bone comes in down lower.
If you can.
Below.
If you can. That was still.
Right
Oh,
on.
that's mine.
Oh yeah, you're right dead center.
See,
of
we
it.
never did get as much penetration with that one.
Dude, those are both like right in the same thickness of bone.
I would think.
Yeah.
But it didn't deflect. That's what kind of surprises me.
That's pretty impressive.
That
Yeah.
is, so.
That's what I was
It did. It didn't catch, and which would even cost less penetration if it deflected.
Okay, so this top arrow is the Exodus. I would say it got two
Two
more
and a half,
inches
maybe. Yeah.
of penetration, which
Yeah.
could have been the difference.
Could have.
That's impressive. We'd
And
say
that's
they're
like-
right in the. You did a really good job of.
That's solid bone
Yeah.
right there. That's.
What did you just say? No, I didn't hear you.
You heard it.
What did you just say though?
Trent actually hit what he was aiming at.
What did he say? Couldn't. It's this ear. Dead in that ear.
So let's look at the wound channel. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Exodus is actually bigger.
Bigger, it is. In the
It's a
gel.
bigger wound channel.
Yep. Look at that. As
A
opposed
little
to
more damage. And this one, there actually was a little bit of deflection, but it's
Just a
still,
touch.
but it's still caught.
But look at that. Look at the.
I don't know if this one
Wound
would have got
channel.
into the cavity.
Well, and so here, this too, one of these blades is down, so like that's gonna be fraction right here, fractured, and so you would have thought you would have even had a better chance getting a little more penetration because you've already had a little bit
Because
of
you
a
already
split
had
right
that
there.
split.
That's already weakened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at that compared to that.
So again,
That wound channel's a lot bigger.
Exodus.
Fixed blade, man, strikes
And
again.
that Exodus
They're
is
hard
a-
to beat.
That
They are
Exodus
hard to
is a
beat.
cheaper head than that.
Yeah.
Than
Yeah.
the VPA. 100%.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys out there shooting the Exodus that really like them.
All right. So
we
take away
probably
from it
use
what you will, but the Exodus, it performed when you're hitting right on a blade like that. That kind of surprised me. I thought you would see more deflection, and I thought it would be a little bit more squirrely. It actually got a bit of penetration, believe it or not. I mean, that's straight up bone.
That's straight bone.
I mean, that's thick
And it
bone.
pushed a lot through. That's
It
impressive.
did. It did. Really, that's kind of impressive. Very impressive.
And
Yeah.
then look at the Exodus is the, oh wait, no, the VPA is the lower one.
Yeah.
That actually
Yeah.
has a little bit bigger actual
On
hole.
the, yeah.
In the cardboard.
I think if we pull out of the cardboard and
I
then
don't know if we'll be able
unscrew
to,
the
but-
head.
It is right through the bone.
I mean, it's not, I'm
I
sure
mean, it's going to be dull, but
but it's
That's
not,
impressive. That's impressive.
and it's still, feel it,
Yeah, it's still got some.
still feels sharp. Held up.
Same
That did.
deal. That held up pretty good.
The thing too, all these broadheads were, we didn't sharpen them aftermarket. So, and I did notice that this one didn't feel quite as sharp as the Exodus, but it feels like it retained
Pretty good.
to exactly what it was. Not
Yeah.
exactly, but close to what it was.
Those are pretty.
Pretty identical.
Yeah, that's.
Pretty close results.
I would say I'm pretty impressed. So what we're gonna do now, since the blades, since the heads aren't destroyed or anything, we're gonna screw them back on, and then we're gonna take them and put them in the thicker part of the scapula and just see how much penetration we get into the cardboard. I'm sure, I predict it'll go right through that because it's obviously not as thick as we're on the blade where we hit here before, but, and just see how much penetration it gets. First broadhead up, going for the scapula is the Exodus.
I mean, it's definitely more.
oh yeah,
Way more.
way more.
I bet it almost went through the cardboard.
Yep.
I mean, that's a double long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a definite kill.
Yep.
And that's pretty, honestly, pretty
Yeah, because this is the thinner
high
part up here.
You know, obviously it's going to be the other way. It's pretty high up in the shoulder blade.
I think it's about accurate though, where you'd shoot one on accident. I mean,
Oh, totally.
knuckle's always hard, right?
Totally. The only thing that you can't account for on any of this test is just like when that arrow hits like the flex of the animal itself. Like
From
obviously it's a
impact from the-
stagnant, yeah. But this is about as close as you're going to get. Let's go try
Nice fletch job.
Yeah, that's Noah. Okay, so VPA scapula test.
Right above it.
That one deflected a little bit.
It did. Yeah.
I mean, look how much it's kicked.
Yeah, it kicked up.
Dude, it didn't penetrate even close.
Barely came through the cardboard.
And that's even if you want to think about it in a way, like it's going to get thicker shoulder blade, you know.
Yeah.
This is even thicker. I mean, not much, obviously, but wow.
But it didn't get as much. It just barely poked through.
And
it kind of deflected a little bit.
Definitely deflected down. I would say that's probably why it lost some. And the difference too is like the tips. I would say it's a little less of a chisel tip.
Yeah.
Which in theory is supposed to be better penetration because it's more of a shallow angle. But it didn't.
Dude, it's hard to beat an Exodus.
I'm really impressed.
I'm anxious to actually see the slow-mo because it does, you can see how, I mean, I'm shooting from the same exact spot at 10 yards, and that's a big difference in angle. So, I don't know, the slow-mo will tell us more, I'm sure.
But I am always curious on how, whether it's a fixed blade, a one piece, or even expandable, how the arrow hits as it's spinning when it goes into the bone, which can create some deflection too. Sure. Just like that bull I hit that rib on that never even penetrated at 40 yards. So it's like.
Good. Okay, in review with the VPA and then the Exodus, they actually did pretty darn good, I would say.
Yeah.
Pretty similar. I was really surprised. I actually thought the VPA was going to do better because if you look at the two of them, it has a shallower angle, which like mathematically that would mean it's going to penetrate better because it's less friction right away. But the Exodus outperformed it.
Has a tiny little bend in one blade, but other than that, there's no chips in them.
For replaceable blades getting shot through a shoulder twice,
pretty impressive.
That's really impressive. Yeah.
Pretty impressive. So moving on, what's our next blades?
I think we should do single bevels next. I think, in theory, single bevels are supposed to be the best performing for this.
Yeah.
In theory.
So new shoulder blade and new broadheads. All right, what do we got here? Iron Will shoulder blade. Take one.
That's the solid with the bleeders. Right bevel.
I didn't penetrate hardly all, did it? It didn't go in at all.
No. No, that did not get. That's right on the edge of the bone. That's not even in the center of the bone, and it still didn't. It's still thick right there, but.
Dude, that's the outside right there.
Yeah.
That's usually what they look like.
That's exactly what it looks like with a giant arrow hanging out.
Yeah,
that's not even.
That's classic.
And that didn't even go through to the cardboard, did it?
No, because that's touching cardboard.
That's touching cardboard.
No. I mean, that
kind of surprises me.
That's usually what shoulder blades look like when they hit the knuckle.
And then they go like that, and they just break the arrow off. And you have zero blood. But
Trent's seen it so many times he can recount it.
I've hunted with Trevor and Steve long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, try it.
It gets so thin.
Okay.
Yeah, try it right above it, like right above it, and that.
That's from Wyatt's or something.
I can't remember which one's which.
That drilled it.
That was like dead center in the high spot of it.
Look how the difference in deflection though. They both deflected.
They both did.
Definitely. But I might not have got it.
You still didn't make it through the cardboard.
We'll have to inspect
but
it.
That's
better.
It's better, but it's still
3.5 inches.
I don't know. I would say that's even a less meaty, less bone spot.
It's thinner bone up there.
I don't know.
Let's look, because really you can't tell.
Yeah, you can pull that back.
See, that's thinner.
Yeah.
But look at the deflection of both the arrows when they hit.
Because this one I thought he missed, but really he hit it.
Look over here. I mean, you got.
That's like
that is not killing it out.
No.
That is not.
It's weird. It actually hit and then like kept the bone on the outside of it. Because look, there's no bone right here, but there's bone on the outside of the arrow.
Killed it up.
That's crazy.
And this one, it's definitely, you're coming through less.
Yeah, it's thinner.
Yeah, way thinner.
But this is a way thinner. It has the same depth, but it's not as thick.
It's not as thick as the one that.
Yeah. And this one, I mean, I would have thought this arrow would have deflected.
Yeah, this one deflected.
I would have thought so.
So this is the iron will, and this is the grizzly stick Masai, I think.
Masai.
Is that what it is? Do you think this one pokes? I mean, this one's almost zero penetration. This one's
definitely not
5 inches.
Yeah, you might got one lung with
you're into the cat. Yeah, maybe poke that first lung if you're lucky.
Some more like interesting things. Like I would have not expected this to not penetrate it.
But another thing too is we're shooting into cardboard, not an actual elk cavity. The deflection of this one that hit, what's it going to do once it goes?
It can change it.
Big time.
It could completely
Good.
deflect once it goes in that
Change
freaking
you
chest
hitting
cavity.
the vitals or not.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's cool. So now let's look at the broadheads and see actually what it did to the head itself here. I don't know if we're gonna get this one out easily. I don't know, guys.
That's like in the bone.
Okay, so that's how much penetration it got. I don't know if you're getting...
That doesn't look like a bad head.
No, the head looks pretty good.
And it's still sharp.
These grizzly stick arrows are actually pretty tough, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, to survive that, it's actually...
I don't know about
Unscrew
this
it.
one, guys. So if you take
I mean, just barely.
all the ballistic gel off,
That's not even a rib cage.
I mean, that's what you got for poke through. But look at it. It didn't ruin the head. I mean, as far as like the tip and everything, it
Yeah.
still seems sharp. Yeah, it's still sharp. But that's classic shoulder blade shot.
That is a classic shoulder blade.
Classic. Look at this little job. Pristine.
Ooh, that one held together.
Yeah, this one was a good one.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's dandy. All right, so we're gonna move on to the expandables, which is actually I'm the most excited about.
Yeah.
But let's review what we've already got shot into the shoulder blades.
Best overall was the Exodus.
By far, I would
By
say.
far, yeah.
Second was that VPA, which,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which in comparison I thought wasn't great. But then after shooting the single bevels, and
And
it's
the
like-
grizzly stick was probably third.
it's a different
Yeah,
shoulder
it
blade,
was.
so it could be like, people are gonna say bone density or different other things, but the backstop's the exact same, the arrow weights, everything's the same,
Yeah.
except for the blade itself. So it's like,
The one thing we can't control, really.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but it's still an elk shoulder blade. These
but
aren't.
the grizzly stick definitely
Moo
did
cows or
better
anything.
than the iron will.
It did.
By
Yeah,
like
it did.
4 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got more penetration for sure.
So now
So-
we have 3 expandables. They're all the same weight. Look at these
Cool.
That
mean
bad bear right
things.
there.
But different cutting diameters. So this is that Sever 1.5 titanium. I have high hopes for this.
Yeah, you would.
I've used it on a couple.
I know. It took you 5 arrows
Wow.
And there's
just to
always
take down the elk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's this Schwacker.
Schwacker.
And this, I think it's a 2.1 or 2.5.
It's
yeah,
big.
I think it's 2.1, 2.5.
Steve shot his deer with it.
Levi
yeah.
Morgan loves them.
Yeah, that's his broadhead.
That's his head.
And then this Carnivore, which has
Yep,
these
the Grim
hinge
Reaper.
blades. And Trevor and Steve tried these a couple years ago, and I don't know. Like, you got your bull, but it just didn't penetrate
The
well.
penetration
Yeah.
wasn't great, but I don't know. I'm excited to see shooting through a bone like right here, how the 3 do.
What do you guys think is going to do the best?
I'm going to go with the Schwacker.
I hope the Schwacker, but
I
I
hope
don't
that-
know.
I don't know.
I'm going to say either Sever or Schwacker is what I'm going to say.
I
I'm
don't
curious.
think this is going to do.
I think she's going to really take some blow pieces apart.
It might come back towards us.
It may or may
I'm
not.
excited to see the difference between the 3.
I think the biggest difference between these two heads is cutting diameter. There's a 1/2 inch difference, and this is a rear deploy. So automatically you get an extra inch of penetration.
But the thing you got to look at is like rear deploy, but it's going straight into the shoulder
It has
blade.
to deploy while it's in the blade.
In the blade.
That's
So
not
it might
great.
not. It might just stop.
It might
We're
not
gonna
even
say.
deploy.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, I know.
Well, don't talk.
That was a weird apology.
I'm sorry, Chase.
I meant Chase.
All right, first up, we got the Grim Reaper Carnivore.
I'm going 3rd place on this one.
You're saying this one's going to do loud? I think that's what we've all said. All right, I'm going to go, let's see, kind of bottom
Mid?
and work my way up.
Maybe, yeah.
Try.
Oh,
That was loud.
that was
That was loud.
That actually
Look at the
deflected when it hit the
deflection.
rib, too.
Did I hit the?
yeah, because you center shot it. Look at it.
Yeah.
It bounced off.
It bounced off of it,
It
dude.
bounced off of the
That's
scapula,
crazy.
and then
And still got some
It
penetration.
went in. How
It
far?
No, actually, the insert is just inside the bone. So
that
the
slow-mo is
broadhead,
gonna be really cool because you can see the point right here.
it hit right there and completely deflected.
The point.
So
is
when those
center
blades
shot.
opened,
Wow.
it shot it off to the right.
Yeah.
The
Instantly.
blades did open. It looks like it anyway. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, no, they did.
I
Like
mean,
right
so
there, you can see the cut up there.
You're not. That's classic shoulder blade.
You're
Yeah.
not an inch in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the insert's like barely.
Not going to work.
I mean, no, it's right there.
That's called straight deflection right there.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
It literally hit and shot off of the freaking bone.
What's next up?
Let's go.
You do that? Schwacka.
Little schwacka.
Next up, Schwacker.
Did it do the same thing, or is it?
I don't know. I might have. That wind kind of picked up.
Either way, it didn't penetrate. I mean, you didn't.
Oh, it caught right there.
It did.
It caught just the edge, and it tried to open, which made it deflect. But it deflected.
Wound channel. Did this side open at all? Like, it looks like it doesn't look like it did.
Because it never really hit.
No.
But look at the penetration. It's the freaking same.
Yeah, it's none.
And that one squared it even more.
Yeah. No penetration.
I mean, it's classic, like a little bit of knock pull. Couple leaves in there. Nice job, Trent.
Welcome. I try to make it realistic as possible.
Yeah, the low frontal.
Okay, next up, sever.
Right in between.
He almost hit the other arrow. I think he did.
I was aiming down lower than that. Really trying to hit that spot hard.
That barely inch and a half.
It went in more. But
Not
I mean,
much.
you're playing a
So
game.
that was the worst, and then it was.
You're just measuring bad at this point.
That could have been on me a little bit. Dang it. Last one. It's always the last one. But it's still, it's like
Same result.
if we, it's the same
It is the
result.
same
We never
result,
got
100%,
penetration.
yeah.
I mean, what did
No,
it?
because you're
Did
seeing
it hit even
all-
cardboard?
Dude, I'm seeing like.
I mean, I bet it's in the cardboard 2 inches.
Yeah, they're all maybe that far in.
The first one's like
Let's-
poking cardboard.
Let's
I mean, look, this is,
open it up and see what we got here.
watch it. I mean, this is like, look at that.
Gone.
That's the results.
It grenaded that freaking broadhead.
Oh,
I just pulled that out.
It just popped out. He
No
just,
kidding?
He just grabbed it and it fell right out.
that's
well
tough.
built.
That's tough.
Apparently Dodge makes them. Looks like the inside of Trent's tranny.
You
Just
are
grenaded.
And Wyatt's is at the tranny shop right now too.
just focus on what you're doing for 10 seconds.
Let's see if these are the same. Like, just pull them out.
Yeah.
There's some metal in the target. So they both deployed.
They both bent pretty good. Here, put them up on. So what you got? Take a look down.
Garbage too.
Well, this
Is it?
insert's chipped. I think it's from them hitting each other. Because
I bet
this
it was.
inserts, but
Could
that's
be.
from the sever hitting it.
Yeah,
Could
because
be.
look at that one is just bent to.
That's from hitting the other head.
That's from hitting that other head when it went in.
Because look, you can see where it hit.
Yeah, but this one wouldn't have been. This one was shot first.
That one bent
Wow.
on impact.
Yeah, this been on impact because that's a bend from the front.
Yeah, that's from it. Oh wow, that's got a dog leg.
It's got a
Oh, it bent
serious- Yeah, it's bent.
So is this one a little bent too?
I think
Oh, yeah.
so. Dude, I think it's because I hit like kind of the edge of the shoulder, and I think it just bent it.
Yeah, because when it hit that, once it started to deploy and hit that solid bone, it's. I mean, you're thinking that's thin. I would say any expandable, stay way away from shoulder bone. That's crazy.
I mean, the moral of the story with all of them:
stay away from that.
don't hit the ridge on the shoulder blade.
Yeah.
correct.
And
Don't hit that
preferably
solid.
not the blade at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you were to hit the thinner scapula part of it, it's going to be better, but you hit that solid bone. I mean, that's a prime example.
So it all comes down to these two, pretty much. The Exodus performed really, really well. This is the Grizzly Stick Masai.
Could be wrong.
It did really well as well. So we're gonna go and we're gonna take these and we're gonna shoot them into the scapula part and just see which gets more penetration.
The Grizzly Stick didn't do as well as we thought, like shooting the actual ridge, and that's why we want to compare it in the scapula, because it's less bone to go through.
Yeah.
So it's like, which one's going to make it through quicker and have more penetration on the back side of it is what I want to see.
Yeah.
Because that's way more. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be pretty dang unlucky to hit that 3/8 of an
Yeah,
inch.
100%. Yeah,
but it
Like,
happens.
If
But
you
it
do
happens.
it, I think we've just agreed that you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But if you hit the scapula, you have a chance. So let's see between
See how
these
much
two,
penetration you get.
which one's the best.
All right. Grizzly Stick. Scapula, take one. Sure wasn't as loud as those other ones were.
Yeah.
It's decent. Yeah. I mean, I think that's about as good as we've.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Did it go through?
I don't know. It might just be poking.
But it's still, I mean, that's pretty good penetration for.
No. No.
No, it's not poking
It's
through.
not poking through.
The Exodus is the only one that poked through.
The Exodus, because we did this.
Well, the Exodus and the VPA.
Oh yeah, they both did.
Yeah, the VPA barely.
Barely. But the Exodus
was out
had
the
like.
back.
Yeah.
And we'll try to do the Exodus right above it and see
Yeah.
what we get.
Kind of nervous.
I am too.
Crushing that thing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was close to the dense part.
And came through the other side.
Yeah.
Definitely the Exodus.
Exodus did well on this test,
That's
guys.
2 for 2 through the scapula, like out the back an inch. I mean, that's probably 10 inches of penetration through the shoulder blade.
Yeah. That's like right into the center of the
It's, I mean,
chest
I think
cavity. I
it's
mean, that's
double
like.
lung.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Impressive. Very impressive.
Cool.
Takeaways.
Yeah, takeaways on this. As far as, I mean, everybody, you know, we're no pros at arrow testing and broadhead testing. All we're doing is like trying to get some kind of a constant and shoot a bunch of stuff into it and see what does the best. In this case, the Exodus did perform really, really well in the category. So take it as it will. Obviously, there's 1,000 other broadheads out there that we didn't shoot, but
And what I would have to say too is we're shooting an elk front and shoulder. A
Yeah.
deer is a different deer. Antelope
Correct.
is smaller. They're a smaller bone structure, but you know that's elk's the best thing to.
Elk's the big the topic. Like, I think
Yeah.
the consensus is, you know, with deer, you can pretty much shoot anything and be
100%.
okay. At least in our experience. Maybe some giant whitetails in some part of the country people argue, but like for the most part with a deer, you can always get that much
Yeah.
with an expandable. But an elk shoulder blade is a different animal, and I mean, this and this could be the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be the difference between 1 and 2 lungs and finding it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
good, definitely.
I don't know.
So many different variables too, but we tried to narrow it down to, you know, a real shoulder blade. It's not a cow, it's not a moo cow or something like that. It's a real elk shoulder blade, and we put ballistic shell around it and put some arrows through it. So take what you guys will from it. We love doing these tests. It's actually a lot of fun. It's actually making Steve kind of think about his broadhead choice right now for his next hunt, honestly.
Yeah.
Like and so
Really is.
a lot of these things, like if they conjure up more questions and get you guys talking about it, that's the cool thing about it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. Comment below what you want the next test to be.